Good afternoon. Today we're going to be talking about a local problem with the RGV drought. I'm joined here today with my group members, Mireya, Adriana, Akshay, and Mads, who's in Germany. The purpose of this presentation is to better inform the public of the RGV drought that's hitting us today and its adverse effects. In our early history, we were dubbed the Magic Valley from early settlers and developers that came down for agricultural success in the lands. Today, we're a mere image of that. With the RGV drought that's hitting us, we are having dry lands and lower prosperities for this. Okay. In a Texas Agriculture Daily 2023, a report saying that we are hitting higher levels from 2019 till now on our critical droughts. This stems from earlier cases from early 1950s to late 2010, still of droughts. With this, we can see the adverse effects that it comes with it, with wildlife refuges or wildlife in general drying out and having no water for the animals, and seeing less and less nature in this valley. Water becomes more expensive because of this drought. We are less dependent on the Rio Grande as of today. A local state journal from the Texas Public Radio 2026 states that we are not depending on the Rio Grande due to it drying out. For this, we are seeing projects from bigger cities like McAllen try to find better water resources so we can have water resource. Our credible sources for this is hours of research from each of our members and in their respective topics. I myself have gone to the wildlife refuges and asked a series of questions for the sake of this project. Their grievances also allow me to note that this drought is affecting them and their wildlife. The purpose of this will be just so we can better inform the public to help mitigate waste of clean water usage and hopefully be able to have an effect, if even just a small, on a helpful note to the RGV drought. I'm going to be passing it off to the member Akshay, on a national level of this problem.
So as we know, drought causes harsh human and environmental conditions, and the valley is not an exception. Drought challenges cities by reducing the availability of critical water resources, such as surface water, groundwater, and reservoirs. This scarcity forces urban areas to compete with agriculture and environmental needs, which leads to restrictions and higher utility costs for residents and businesses. According to the National Integrated Drought Information System, as of April 16, 2026, 50.18% of the United States and Puerto Rico and 60.05% of lower 48 states are in drought, and 148.8 million people in the United States are affected by drought just this week. Looking at an article from National Geographic, since the year 1900, more than 11 million people have died and more than 2 billion people have been affected by drought throughout history. Now, looking at how this affects our valley, the valley itself is a critical water supply is in a state of severe crisis due to decades of overuse of water combined with worsening conditions because of global warming. This shortage threatens the health, safety, and welfare of residents by reducing stream flow, groundwater, and reservoir levels, which are crucial for our area. Now, looking at how this is affecting our citizens, I hand it off to my partner, Mireya.
Thank you. So the valley is being affected by droughts in numerous ways. The first way it's affecting us is with our cattle and our crops. It's affecting us on the reservoirs that we have here, and it's also affecting us on the amount of money that we have to end up paying in to surplus what we've been experiencing in this drought. So here in the valley, millions are affected. It's not just one part, it's not just one place of the valley, it's millions. And this is becoming a threat to our environment and the way that we've always known that we are the Magic Valley. An article by RFD TV 2024 has stated that farmers are in desperate need of water. If we don't have water, there's no way to grow grass in order for the cattle to feed on. There's no way in order to grow crops, and no crops means that there's no food coming to our table. which that is going to go into effect with the butterfly effect. The butterfly effect states that when the farmers are struggling, that's when we have to pay more. If they're not getting the stuff that they need in order to supply what we need, then we're both in trouble. Adding on to that, Texas Tribune Post said that Lake Falcon and Lake Amistad are our biggest reservoirs, and they're completely dry, 20%, which is lower than it should ever be. With this river drying and the population expanding, it's a really big problem. If we don't have enough water to sustain all these people coming over here to the Magic Valley, then what are we gonna do? If we have no water in order to give to the new permits and the buildings that they're building, then we're not gonna have any more jobs, we're not gonna have no more houses, and once the houses start getting scarce, that's when the price goes up, and we're gonna feel that in our pockets. And finally, the $185 million bill, that is an important bill that's getting passed right now in order to gain water from the underground. Utility manager Mark Vega says that we cannot depend on the Rio Grande River anymore as our water supply, which is really bad. And with that, our water bill will be rising, which we're gonna feel in our pockets when it comes to this. So, as I mentioned, the problem is undeniable. The river is failing, the cost is going up, and the environment is under stress. But there are ways to fix it. And to that, I'm gonna pass it over to my group member, Adriana.
So the solution we propose is to implement stricter water conservation policies and increase investment in water management systems, such as improving irrigation efficiency, promoting practices that save water, and encouraging community awareness to reduce water waste. According to Garcia 2025, local leaders recognize that current water levels are insufficient to sustain that region's rapid population growth, making investment in management systems a necessity rather than an option. So by transitioning to high efficiency irrigation systems, the agricultural sector, which Powell 2023 notes is hit hardest by these shortages, this can maintain productivity while significantly reducing the volume of water drawn from the depleted Rio Grande Valley. So water treatment facilities and desalination have been shown to prevent droughts in the Rio Grande Valley. Through a combination of modernized water technology and community-wide awareness programs, the valley can mitigate long-term economic damage and ensure that water remains available for both the local economy and the environment. Being well informed about the drought conditions can help save agriculture, the local businesses, and daily life for residents. Now I'm passing it off to Mads.
So in conclusion, drought is a serious and growing problem in the Rio Grande Valley. Declining water levels in the valley and record low water reserves are threatening our region. This affects agriculture, increases food prices, and raises water costs for residents. At the same time, a growing population is increasing demand on already limited supply. Overall, this drought is impacting our economy, environment, and daily lives. To address this issue, we propose implementing stricter water conservation policies and increasing investment in water management systems. This includes improving more efficient watering and raising awareness in the community. By doing this, the Rio Grande Valley can better manage its water resources and protect its future. As already said, we once called this region the Magic Valley because of its opportunity and abundance. Today, that future is at risk. If we do nothing, we risk losing our water, our economy, and our way of life. But there's still time to act. So I encourage all of you to conserve water, support better water management, and spread awareness. Because the future of the Rio Grande Valley depends on what we do today.
Perfectly concluded by Mads. Perfectly concluded by Mads. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and I hope you were able to be convinced to conserve your water and be well informed on the RGV drought.